Someone asked me this question today, and it was kind of an eye opener, but it's a great question, a great segue into something near and dear I kind of wanted to talk about. So I want you to think about what your true value is. Like, what if you approach me and you say, Sean, what's the value of you over somebody else? What's the value of why if you're a brand new agent, I'm a brand new agent. If I am, and you were to say, hey, Sean, you're a brand new agent, what's your value? What's your true value of what you're going to provide someone out there? The first thing I'm going to find out is, what is it that you're good at? What is it that you like? What is it that you currently do for a living? What are your wants, needs, and likes that you enjoy, that you like to do? And if you think about the difference between, let's just say, a farmer, right? If I'm a farmer and you're going to reach out to me and say, explain to me about your job as a farmer, I'm going to explain the things I love about it. What do I love? How do I know my commodity? If I know peaches, plums, nectarines, apricots, but I show you this plum and it's kind of light colored, might even have some speckles on it or something like that, and I say, check out this plum. I know everything about this commodity. I know everything about what I do. This is a plum, and it's a beautiful plum. It's kind of white. It's got a little red inside of it, and some speckles on the outside of it. Some little red color speckles. You're gonna look at, and if you're a farmer, you're gonna look at me and say, "You're a fool," because that's not a plum. Most of you thought it really was a plum. It's called a pluot. Used to be a farmer a long time ago. I love tree fruit farming. I really would have done that for the rest of my life. But it's called a pluot. Now, do I know pluots? Yeah, I know them pretty good. Let's go for a more simple one, okay? If I walked up to you and I showed you this really, really light colored fruit, it's a little fuzzy on the outside. It's a little white with a little red on it. On the inside, it's a white color on the inside, but it's like a peach. And I say, this is an amazing peach. And then you look at it and you're like, that's a white flesh peach. I would look like a fool, wouldn't I? I'm a fool because I didn't even know white flesh. I don't know my commodity very good. I don't know what I'm talking about. So if you're a new business owner, let's say new real estate agent, you just got in this business, you're trying to learn what it takes to be a realtor. What value do you have over me? What value do you have over me? What value do you have over someone else? So the value isn't, you've got to learn your commodity. That's where you're going to gain your value. If a brand new agent is just getting started, my suggestion is to go out and preview properties, get to know the inside of properties. A good friend of mine, Tony Giordano, once did a training that I always tell him, hey, that's probably the best training out there that I've ever seen him do. It's amazing. It's the one that he does on luxury real estate. And he talks about going into, and I'm going to screw it up, Tony. So if you see this, forgive me, man. But he talks about going into a house, and it's a very luxury house. Maybe it's a $3 to $10 million property. And he's looking at the countertops that are red and look like concrete. And if you were to go in there and say, "Oh, beautiful kitchen! Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. Is this concrete?" They're gonna kick you out of that house so dang fast because that's probably $5 million worth of countertops imported from Brazil, and they're just special stone imported from other. So again, do I know my commodity? Do I belong in that $5 million property, $10 million property? I probably don't until I gain some education. Once I gain more education and I learn a little bit more about the luxury industry, I can sell luxury real estate because I'm going to get to know my commodity, or I'm going to get to know my product before I even go into that dang house. I'm going to do as much research as possible before I show up to that listing appointment to make sure I'm on my A game, to make sure I know my commodity. So if I go into there and I start to see those countertops, or I see some old pictures and I see these countertops, I'm going to retread a research to find out whether those countertops are some special, amazing name that was imported from Brazil. If I like farmland, which I love farmland, like I said, I used to farm years ago right out of high school with an amazing business partner. And I love farming. So if I was to go in there and I was to say, hey, how much is this farmland worth? And I see that it's got bare land on it, hasn't had any water running on it for a long time. I'm going to say, hey, I think it's probably worth, I don't know, maybe $10,000 an acre. Well, at least I'm doing one thing right, because farmland typically you value per acre. But if it's got trees on it, now it's got some commodities. It's got some fixtures on it in a way. It's got trees growing into the ground. And I start to say, okay, now it's got more value. The value's a little higher. Maybe I'm looking at about 30,000 an acre, something like that. If you're going to get into farmland and that's what you want to do, you better get to know and understand everything about farmland, everything about commodities, everything about wheat, corn, when they come off per year, tree fruit, farming, what everything about it, when it comes off, flood irrigation versus sprinkler irrigation, the different types of irrigation. You might even get and still go start rubbing elbows with some of the crop advisors, get to know them and how they do their job, because farmers like to talk. So if you're going to go lean on a pickup truck with a farmer, which is something they love to do, and you better know your commodity, or you're going to be wasting their time. They're not going to want anything to do with you. What about commercial land? Oh man, I just get on the MLS and start searching commercial land, and I find all this property. I value it just like I value residential real estate. No, it's not the case. Commercial land has specific ways of valuing, and it has specific MLSs. LoopNet.com is a very common place where people search for commercial real estate. Not the MLS, although some MLSs do have commercial inside of them. So there's all these different ways that you do things a little different depending on the type of commodity you're selling. So if a brand new agent's just getting started, always tell them, go preview properties. Go over there, go to inside of a house for sale, let them know that, hey, I'm trying to find a buyer for this neighborhood and I wanted to preview your property. Can I preview it? Yeah, go preview it. Now you're going to go and you're going to preview that property. You're going to see what's inside of it. You're going to learn a lot about what's for sale on the market, learn about your commodity. And then you're going to go out and you're going to door knock 5 doors around that property. And you're going to say, hey, we're trying to sell that property across the street, looking to see if anyone in the neighborhood knows anyone wanting to buy or sell real estate. Because we know that 9 times out of 10, typically somebody in the neighborhood knows somebody that wants to move into their neighborhood, or somebody that moves into the neighborhood knows somebody in this neighborhood. There's a reason why they were attracted to that neighborhood. It happens quite often. And so by doing that, am I doing anything wrong by saying we're trying to sell your neighbor's house? No, because we have a cooperative agreement through the MLS that we cooperate to bring buyers, and they want you to bring a buyer. That listing agent wants you to. You just can't say, hey, that's my listing, because it's not your listing. Shouldn't be saying that. But we are trying to find a buyer for this home. We are trying to find a buyer. So go door knock around and see if you can find anyone that knows anyone that wants to buy. It's a way to get yourself uncomfortable, get yourself used to door knocking and meeting people. And the goal is to relationship-based business, to meet more people. But what am I doing? I'm getting to know my commodity. I'm getting to understand real estate. I'm getting to understand what different properties look like inside. So your job as a brand new agent is to get to know your commodity. That's probably one of the most important parts of your business. You look like a fool if you don't get to know what you're trying to sell. Educate is the most important thing you can do. Hire a coach. Us coaches are here to help. We're here to educate you and help you, teach you how to talk to people, teach you how to walk the business. I call it like cop talk. Realtors start to talk like cop talk. They talk in 10 codes and all these different words. Cops talk, that's how they talk to each other. Us realtors, we do the same thing. Talk about RPAs and RE23s and all these different things, right? So we actually talk in a certain lingo too. The only way you're going to get used to it is to educate yourself. Get to know people in the business. Start meeting new people in the business. And I'm telling you, your mind is going to start expanding. You're going to start learning more. You're going to start sounding more professional. You've got to get to know your commodity. If you expect to beat me out on a listing appointment, you better talk as good as me. You better walk as good as me. You better have all that knowledge that I have. If you don't have it, educate yourself. Get a coach.